Yeah, no, just excited to get this win, start off 2-0 in WCC play, and I think a lot of mental and physical toughness in that second half. You know, we kind of talked about it as a team in the first half. They might have been the more physical team. Like when you look at that first half, LMU came in and punched us in the face a little bit, and they were more physical. That second half, there's no question, we were more physical. We were more mentally tough for all but the last maybe 2 minutes or so. We had a little lapses in mental toughness at times down the stretch, but just excited for us to go finish the game. That's something that we hadn't done great so far this season. I thought our second half was a lot better today.
I know you've been on Nate for his defense from time to time. It seemed like tonight the steal and then like the save that he got that led to the Lawan alley-oop kind of got you guys going on offense. I'm curious just like about his defense tonight and kind of what you're seeing out of him on that end lately.
Yeah, no, I think he's just so focused on winning, and I think what we've done with him is done a good job watching film and talking and talking about what winning looks like. You know, whether that's getting to the paint and having high assist games or high, getting to the paint and having high scoring games, and then defensively making those momentum plays. You look at I think the last 3 games he's got 3 charges. I know he had 2 versus Northern Iowa. He had one tonight, and just those deflections, picking up the ball early and kind of being the head of the snake. Like he has such an ability to jumpstart our defense, and I think he's showing that more and more. And as he sees success in that, he'll just keep getting better.
And then with Thomas scoring 17, 4 or 5 and 3, I think 2 or 3 of those were from the corner. Just kind of curious, kind of what you thought of his game, and with so many guys out, what this says about what he's able to do, long term.
It's just really cool to see his confidence kind of blossom. We've seen it all fall. He had days where he was the best player on the floor, and that's when we had we had our whole team there all fall, and we walked out of multiple practices where Thomas is the best player on the floor. Case was the best player on the floor at times. You're going to see him blossom here soon. Parker's dominated practices. You're going to see that these freshmen come along as they get more minutes, and that's where you build confidence. Like you build confidence from working hard. Not everyone wants to do it. Not everyone wants to practice. Not everyone wants to put in the extra work, and I think these guys have bought into that, and you see that from Thomas.
So, Coach, so far 2-0 in West Coast Conference play. This your first home game, but having that in and having a strong start so far and with a great record on top of that, what's that mean to get that good start off?
I think it's exciting that we're kind of seeing our hard work pay off. It's early, like we got a long season ahead of us, but I think like we've kind of been challenged all year. We got picked. I think the coaches picked us behind LMU this year. Even when the conference play was about to start, you see everyone talking that what could have been a great season, what could have been if all these injuries didn't happen. And I just think we got everything we need right here. We have a really talented team. Every night we're going to have to prove it, and every night the other team's going to have to prove it. Like I think that's what we're about, is going out and competing, and I'm excited that we were able to do that the last 2 games.
And Nate himself said that he felt it was a bit personal in this game, like they wanted to get out and really get it. And what did you see from the players and their sort of fight and passion and effort in this game?
I just saw like a togetherness that really shined throughout the game. Like, and that takes toughness, that takes a chip on your shoulder to be able to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. Like our guys were passing up good shots for great ones. They were taking charges. The rotations on defense were the best I've seen all year. And so I think that chip on their shoulder is starting to show in the right ways.
And last one for you. Next game up, your first true home game in Beasley against San Francisco has had a great start in their own right. What's that mean to get that game going and go back home and be in Pullman and be able to pull off a 3rd win in a row in WCC play?
I mean, I'm excited about getting back to Beasley and getting in front of the home crowd. Getting back home for a few days, which would be nice. And it's a huge game. USF's been playing great basketball. Another team that's picked ahead of us, that's ahead of us in the standings, and we just got to go prove it.
Coach, when we were here with you guys against Eastern Washington, it was Cedric Coward and Isaiah Watts with 22 points. Now it's Thrasterson, 17, Calmes, 20, just new names this time around. I mean, you kind of talked about the mentality of next guy up. Is that what you've been preaching to these guys? And like you said, have they bought in?
They're definitely bought into it, and that's exactly what we've been preaching. We got plenty of talent in that room, and again, it just goes back to that fall of us competing and Like we always say, iron sharpens iron, and I think we've had that. So the guys come in, and that's how you have confidence.
So we saw Tomas come up here and talk a little bit and try and get as much out of him as he can. What does he bring? Like, what's he like on the court? I mean, he must not be the best talker, but what does he bring to you guys?
He's quiet, but he's confident. He knows who he is. He's not going to stray from anything other than that. And he's behind. I haven't seen it that much personally, but apparently his roommates, and when there's like groups of 2 or 3, they say he won't shut up. So who knows whether that's really true, but it's fun. Like we had he got a transition bucket in against Portland and kind of bullied a guy and went and laid it in, and our whole bench was doing all the talking for him. Like he's really got the guys believing in him. They all love our freshmen. I mean, all 3 of the freshmen that are playing are so supported by our upperclassmen, which is really cool to see. After the game, Isaiah Watts comes in and dumps some water on Thomas's head because he was too hot. So we got a great team chemistry going, and it's pretty cool to see these freshmen step up and the guys embrace that.
You mentioned in the first half how they kind of punched you in the mouth, a little more physical. Where did it change in the second half? What was the talk at halftime to turn things around? Because you come out and outscore them 23-10 to start the second half.
So the first thing we asked our guys was, who was a tougher team, who was the more physical team? And once we got that answered, it's not just about saying you got to be tougher, because that's really non-descriptive. And so we just talked about what exactly that looks like to be more physical. It means earning your catches on the 3-point line. It means posting up where you need to post up. It means hitting your guy early so he can't drive you one-on-one and he can't have a physical drive on you. And so we just went down a list of these different ways our guys could be more physical, and I thought they stepped up. And defensively, that showed big time. Offensively, the first 4 minutes were a little bit ugly in the first half. But once we started making some simple reads and getting the ball zipping around, that's when their pressure couldn't catch up to us, because we had them chasing us.
Talk about Nate's play in the second half. I thought he was a guy that kind of took it upon himself to kind of get it to the bucket and take it strong to the hole.
Exactly, and that was the other piece. Is if we go with pace, they can't press. If we're stagnant, we're slow up the court, they can set their defense. They can really get up into us. And Nate's the fastest player in the country, and so when he's going with pace, there's not much teams can do to pressure us. And then the issue was in the first half, he was passing out of that, and then we'd stop. And we'd allow them to reset. And I thought the second half we did a much better job of flowing and playing through that second action. Nate did an incredible job of creating those first actions all game for us.
Coach, you were saying people might not want to get up and do it, might not want to go practice for the win. And Nate was saying it was a dogfight and it was personal. And he was saying that they weren't out here practicing yesterday. It made it a little tough. So I want to know what you thought about that.
I mean, our guys take pride in how hard we work. I think that's a big thing that we talk about all year. It's hard to win. Everyone says they want to win. Everyone says they want to win a championship, but no one wants to put in the extra work. We had a tough game versus Portland. We traveled. We watched film. We had treatment. And we came in here, 7:30 last night, and we got after it. It was an hour and 15 minutes of competitive. Guys were flying around, and we just talk about like that. No one wants to do that. But if we want to go win, that's what it's going to take. And not everyone's willing to do that. Not everyone's willing to wake up in the morning before practice and get their extra shots up. Not everyone's going to be willing tomorrow to go in and to get treatment, take care of their bodies. And so I just think there's all these little details that our guys have understood and embraced and really kind of rallied behind to be confident. Because that's what you want to be. You want to be confident going into games, and the only way to build confidence is through hard work.
A lot of these guys are confident. You say Thomas is really confident. We got the 3 freshmen playing. Do you find, like, coming in here in Spokane and coming in late at 7:30, putting in that hard work, that maybe the freshmen are going a little bit harder, or everybody's on the same page, or what's that look like?
Everyone was on the same page yesterday. I mean, we walked in here, our grad assistant Clink had the music going, and the guys are ready to go. And we had a fun time last night. We had a good shoot around today where we were getting game speed shots up, and just excited for these guys to kind of see what that does when the game actually starts.
One more for you, Coach. Parker, I thought he was pretty impressive out there in the second half. He was putting a lot of work, getting a lot of steals in, just pressuring everybody. That seems like something in practice that he's probably putting in there. He's loud. It sounds like he's the coach out there on the court today. What about him?
He's loud in practice too. He's been loud since day one, and he's as competitive as anyone. He's another guy that's confident. I mean, he got those 2 steals today. I think he had 2 steals, right? 2 big ones. And one of them he came in and missed a layup, and he's coming off the court. I got to dunk that next time. And, like, that's confidence. Like, I don't know if that's the right thing, but he's confident going into this. He's talking. He's always saying the right stuff. He's willing to put his body on the line. And, even when he wasn't playing as much the last 4 or 5 games ago, his impact on the team was loud. Like, he was a huge part of our practices. He was every single day making sure we're going full speed, we're saying the right stuff, we're doing the right things. And it's just cool to see a guy like him be able to get on the court, show it. And I just, like, the crazy thing with Parker, he's got a ton of room to grow. Like, his ceiling is much higher than what it is right now, and we're starting to see the toughness shine through now.
Nate with 2 T's, is that a concern at all, or like kind of what do you see there?
I still haven't got a chance to debrief and find out exactly what happened. And it's an emotional game. We got to find that line and make sure we're not stepping over it. So I want to make sure that we're better than that. We can't be giving them free points. I don't like what happened at the end of the game. We shouldn't have shot it. So that's on. I got to do better. I don't know. I want to kind of watch the film and see exactly what happened too.
Last thing, one of Thomas's buckets was like a tip-in off an offensive rebound, which I'm just curious, kind of like in your mind, what that says about what he's like kind of willing to do out there, and it's kind of what does that say about him?
It was a huge bucket. Like, he hit the corner threes, and you guys have seen him with his little his Euro steps where he's physical and doing all this stuff, but he's willing to get the dirty work done, and that was a huge play. Like, they had scored a couple buckets, and he came in, and those momentum plays are what win games. Like, that's how you build momentum, and I thought he did that.
One last one for you, Coach.
Yep.
After spending the last sort of long chunk of your career with Eastern and not yet in the West Coast Conference, now you're here with this new year for Washington State. What kind of new challenge does that give you now as you're a couple games into this new conference for both yourself and the program?
I mean, every day right now is a new day. Like, it's new conference, new coaches to scout against. And we're super excited for that challenge, and we know that we got a pretty dang good blueprint to follow, and when we're doing the right stuff and we're staying in reality and not playing outside of ourselves, I think we've got a chance every game.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Go Cougs!